Hi everyone, it's the English Simmer here and welcome back to my channel, and today's video where we are going to be discussing Simmer's favourite topics, and that is things that we currently don't have in The Sims 4 that we think we deserve in The Sims 4. So I did one of these types of videos last week where I was kind of making a generic wish list of stuff I would like to see in The Sims 4 in 2020. In that video, I did say that I would want to do an actual pack version of this where I talk about like hypothetical packs that I would like to see this year. So I'm going to start off this video with the biggest packs, which is of course expansion packs. We usually get 2 expansion packs a year. I think for the last 2 or 3 years, we've had 2 expansions a year. So that's kind of like the release that the Sims 4 team are doing currently. And so I have written 2 expansions that I quite feel as if we need in The Sims 4. The first one isn't gonna surprise you guys, and that is a generations type pack. I don't want generations. Like, I do. I can't say that I don't. We got Parenthood a few years back, and that was really great for kind of giving your younger Sims personality. However, it didn't really talk about like any of the periods of life that they go through. I feel like everyone has these definitive moments whilst they are growing up that really do like define them and last as a memory, and I feel like we don't have that in The Sims 4, and considering this is a life simulation game, I feel as if we need more of that personality and those like character defining moments. Like, I feel like The Sims 4 is all very happy and there's no really like lows, or it's really hard to have a negative in the game, and I feel like Generations could kind of bring some of that. One, it would pump life into the life stages that definitely need more attention, such as toddlers, kids, and elders and teens. First of all, we all know I'm a sucker for hobbies. Yes, I do want a hobbies expansion pack. I think that could be a great expansion pack, but I've already talked about that. I will leave that video like maybe up in like this corner perhaps, but it could also include some more after school activities. I love the after school activities that come with The Sims 4. I think for now we've had drama and we have had scouting for kids. I do think they deserve more. I would also love to see after school activities for teens. I honestly always forget that teens can have part-time jobs, because the time that they've come home, done their homework and eaten, it's like time for them to go to bed. But I think after school activities would be great for teenagers as well. Honestly, I really miss proms as well. I know proms are like quite a American thing. They have definitely fluctuated in popularity in the UK recently as well. I miss your sim going off to prom. Even if this isn't active, I would love it to be active. I think that would be really cool. There are mods that make active proms, but I just miss like having a date, and you can kind of do this. I did this in my Heyday Let's Play, but in The Sims 3, you could send your sim off to prom and it'd be like, they asked out this person and they had their first kiss at prom, and it was just adorable. I felt like it really was a defining moment for my teenagers, because they kind of defined like their sexuality through prom, and like future storylines that I would come up with kind of came from prom in The Sims 3, and I just would really love to see it make a return in The Sims 4. Then for elders, we could have things like a bingo hall. They could go to bingo with their friends. We need canes. We need something for elders, because right now they have nothing. I would love like a family reunion event, whereas if you're playing like a legacy or like a bigger family and you move people in and out, like just getting them all together could be really cute. And also funerals. I mean, not so happy, but funerals, you know, people in The Sims just kind of die and then that's it. Like, they die. And Grim comes and he scrolls through his little tablet like he does, and then he reaps the soul. And ghosts are pretty naff, I'm not gonna lie. I think ghosts need an overhaul, but that's like a completely different topic. So yeah, you can't really do anything with them. You can have them be a ghost, or you can have them come back to life by giving them ambrosia, but you can't really say goodbye to them. It's just like, oh yeah, this person that you knew, yeah, they're dead now. Okay, bye. I would also love to have teen parties included, like maybe your parents go away and you can throw like teen parties, and also sleepovers. I think sleepovers are definitely missing from The Sims 4. Young adults and adults, this is some content for you in this expansion, but honeymoons. We don't have honeymoons in The Sims 4. So I think it could be quite cute. I know, again, you can do this by like taking them off to a vacation world after they get married, but I think like having an actual event like dedicated to it would be quite cute. Midlife crises. I used to love a good midlife crisis in The Sims 3. And I know I'm always like, I don't want to just see like reiterations of packs from previous games, but I feel like just that family core element is still missing like 6 years into The Sims 4, and something needs to be done about it. And then the next expansion, which I have definitely seen a lot of the community want recently, and this is a farming expansion. And this probably comes from my love of Stardew Valley. I have been playing it so much recently. I got a Switch Lite for Christmas and I have not been able to put Stardew Valley down once again. I go through such phases of that game. And in the past, I have definitely said, don't bring horses to The Sims 4. Sims 4 doesn't need horses. Horses were so annoying. And like, I'm still not that fussed by horses, but I think in a farming expansion, it would be okay to have horses. I think it could be quite cute to have like an equestrian career, but also without open world, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of like the kind of negative effects that horses had in The Sims 3. They would override a lot of actions. Like your Sims would always just want to go like let the horse out of their stable, or like ride their horse, or you'd have those big flocks of horses randomly in the world. Obviously you aren't going to have that in The Sims 4, so a lot of my negatives do get wiped out by the fact that we don't have open world, so therefore I feel like horses aren't going to be quite as glitchy as they were in 3, but I would prefer to see other animals like play a higher importance role over horses, such as chickens and cows, for example. I think a farming expansion would add difficulty to The Sims 4. I think gardening is really good in Sims 4. However, I think growing your own crops, and this could also introduce like whether you choose to shop at a supermarket. I know a lot of people miss the routine of like having to actually have food in to cook, because The Sims 4 is just so easy, and simoleons are really easy to make in The Sims 4, so food is never like a big thing. Like that's never been a difficult thing to achieve in Sims 4. So I think like growing your own produce and like having that play more of a role, and then if you don't grow produce you could go shopping instead, I think that could definitely add something to the game. It's realism that everybody would like to see, I am sure. And then your Sims could also like go to the farmers market and sell their produce, and I'm really annoyed that we don't have pumpkins for people to pick at Harvest Fest, because you can do pumpkin carving, but there's nowhere to pick pumpkins from unless you come up with a storyline in your head. And I've done all of these storylines and they're fun, but it would just be better if we had like the actual physical help of the game behind us. I feel like you can only do certain storylines so many times over before you get bored of them. And that might just be like a me problem, because obviously I play Sims like every day of my life for my YouTube channel, and I feel like I have explored every inch of this game. Then for a game pack, I did quickly talk about this in my 2020 wishlist video, but I would actually love a Cars game pack this year, which is surprising. I have in the past been against Cars, but I do feel as if it's the right time for Cars in The Sims 4, and I know people say, what's the point of Cars without an open world? And to you, I say, go watch some Sims 2 content with cars, they kind of like pull off the lot and then like drive off and disappear, and then you go to a loading screen, which could work the exact same way in The Sims 4, but there was a lot that you could do with cars. So I would love to see the return of a fixer-upper car. You guys know I'd love to see like 3 different versions of a fixer-upper, like maybe like an old school Beetle, maybe like a classic car, and then maybe like a Mustang or something like that. I think there could be like 3 different variants. And also, if cars were a game pack, that kind of gives the team a little bit of room to maybe play with a mechanic career. It could be an active career, so maybe fixing fixer-upper cars and like renovating them and selling them on for simoleons, or owning like your own mechanic shop. I think this is a really good way to introduce some new kind of careers that we've never really had in The Sims before, because like mechanics and plumbers and like more like, I don't know what plumbing has to do with cars. That came out of nowhere. But I think like having those types of careers have never really been done. And yeah, they're not as exciting as like astronaut or secret agent. But really, what can you do with those careers? They just go off and like work. Whereas I would love to see more active careers come out of 2020. I also think this would be good because you could kind of teach your teen Sims how to drive. I don't know how they would do this because obviously you can't really drive on the road, but maybe they could just like sit in the driveway of their house and like pretend to drive, or there's like a simulation screen or something. The Sims 4 like freaking loves futuristic stuff. Like we have the Future Cube, we have that big sports cubicle. Does anyone actually use that object? The only time I ever use it is when I go to GeekCon in City Living, but it's like that big box where it's like virtual reality video games. Like they love that type of shit, so you could have that maybe for like a car and like simulating like pedestrians and stuff. I don't know how they would go about it, but it also gives your teens something to do. For a stuff pack, I would love to see a dedicated music stuff pack. There are quite a few instruments in The Sims 4. We have keyboards, we have pianos, we have an organ, we have guitars, and we have violins. However, we still don't have drums. Yes, we got singing in City Living, but I feel like that's more like karaoke driven. I don't really feel like the singing career has anything interesting about it. And I know we do have that like music career, but I would love to see an active like either singer or bands. I would really love to be able to form bands. I think we need drums, and I do think we need bands, and I do think we need an overhaul of like a singer career. Like maybe your singer, it could be an active career, like kind of the designer one, like all the freelancer careers. Maybe they could be a freelance singer and they have to like go out to clubs and perform to kind of grow in their ranking of being a singer. Or maybe it's the same for bands. I feel as if music is very underutilized in The Sims 4. I feel like we need a dedicated pack towards music. And again, this kind of takes like hobbies into play and doing more things at home with Sims instead of going out and drinking. I really love that kind of gameplay, so I would love to see a music focused stuff pack. And that pretty much wraps up the packs that I would love to see from this year. I highly doubt any of them are gonna come because whenever I do a video like this, it seems like 1 or 2 like little things, like maybe we'll get drums in The Sims 4 this year, but who knows? I don't know what type of pack they could introduce them with. I was kind of hoping that they were gonna come in university as well as bands, but that didn't ever happen. So I don't know what type of pack they could come in outside of a music based pack, but I would really love to see all of these in The Sims 4 at some point, whether it be this year, whether it be in the next like 2 or 3 years. I don't know how long The Sims 4 has left in it. Please do let me know what kind of packs you guys would love to see this year. And if you would like to see any of the packs that I talked about, let me know in the comments. Leave your ideas. I love hearing what people want. And also, this is just a really good opportunity to kind of get your ideas out there and like written down. Because sometimes I know the gurus sometimes do watch these videos. So who knows? Maybe they're watching these and kind of taking ideas from them. I also want to do a video of like 5 things I don't want to see in The Sims 4, but it's getting harder and harder for things that I don't want to see because as time goes on, I feel like we're all kind of feeling the same way. So I'm not really disagreeing at the moment with what people want to see in The Sims 4, but I'm sure I could come up with some ideas. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys!